Last time, we began covering a very different Namek arc. The events leading up to the arc went very differently. And the arc itself was even crazier than normal, but we're still not done yet. Now, Frieza's finally found our heroes. It looks like they won't be able to leave Namek without fighting him. So what's gonna happen here? We'll cover all that and more in this part 4 of What If Gohan Trained Like Goku. The Namekians all tell Piccolo about fusion. All these warriors banded together. They were aiming to fuse into Nail, but now this other warrior has shown up and he seems pretty strong. He's definitely Namekian, but they don't recognize him. He must have not grown up here. And they wonder if he's gonna fuse into Nail as well. They learn of who Piccolo is, and Nail has a better plan. All these warriors want to fuse into Piccolo instead. He seems to be a stronger host, and he'll definitely fare better against Frieza. Plus, without his power, they probably won't be able to win. And he's definitely not going to fuse into any of the others. But they could probably fuse into him at least. Maybe they can convince him to do so. Let's go back over to where Frieza is. Frieza finally gets over to the group, and he can't believe what's happened. They defeated the Ginyu Force, seemingly with ease. His first form might have actually been enough to defeat them, but for the first time in his life, he's not so sure. He's already in his second form though, so this should be easy. Especially with how angry he is, he'd rather just kill them. He wants to ensure they'll die, and with this form, they definitely will. They stole the Dragon Balls. Those were his. They killed all his men. They killed the Ginyu Force. He has nothing now, and it needs to make them pay for it. A fight immediately ensues just as soon as he gets there, and his second form is actually quite the challenge. But Goku and Gohan, they seem to actually surpass him. Vegeta can't believe what he's seeing. First of all, the fact that Frieza even transformed, and what's even crazier is the fact that this low-class Saiyan and his son, they're somehow keeping up with him. And not just that, but those Earthlings that he fought not too long ago. They're definitely not on Frieza's level, but they're fighting decently well too. Vegeta's gotten a lot stronger as well, thanks to healing after being injured by Krillin and Ten. But he wonders if it's going to be enough. And Frieza taunts them. They might be getting a little cocky now. Especially that random Saiyan who he doesn't recognize. But he tells them not to worry. He'll be sure to exterminate them. He's glad that these are seemingly the last Saiyans left in the universe. He'll eliminate them and then finally be rid of the Saiyans for good. And who knows what's next. The short guy and the guy with the 3 eyes, he'll probably find their home planet too, and be sure to eliminate everyone there. Not even knowing that's the same place that Goku and Gohan are from. But Goku says it's not going to happen. They'll defeat him here and now. Frieza says they seem to not truly understand his power yet. He'll make them understand. Ten and Krillin think it's wise to kill him before he reaches his full strength. Goku surprisingly agrees. He doesn't know what Frieza's capable of. And while he would love to fight Frieza at his full power, he knows the risk here. And honestly, Vegeta's feeling the same way. Defeating Frieza at his full strength would be a huge ego boost, an ultra ego boost if you will. But at the same time, he knows it's probably impossible, and defeating him in general is more important than defeating him at his strongest, but they don't have the opportunity to do so. He doesn't even go into his third form, he immediately jumps into his final form. Although, he is a bit concerned for the first time in his life. The fact that that second form, it wasn't enough. He should have been able to eliminate them easily, but for some reason, those Saiyans, they're actually pretty strong. They can't be as strong as his final form though. This will definitely overpower them significantly, and that seems to exactly be the case. In his final form, he seems untouchable. His speed, it's beyond their comprehension, and when they do actually hit him, it does pretty much nothing. And Frieza's in a particularly strange mood. He's going to be acting a little bit differently than his normal self, because of the situation here. These random people he doesn't even know about, people who stole his Dragon Balls. They're putting up a fight against him, revolting against him. He's the Emperor. He needs to put them in their place, especially Vegeta, and that other Saiyan. He needs to get rid of them at any cost. Casually, he lifts up a finger, launching a death beam right at Goku. And it's so quick that Goku doesn't even have a chance to dodge it. He's barely able to move before the beam hits him directly, striking him right in the chest. Krillin and Ten rush over to him, bringing him to Dende who's hiding nearby. Luckily, he's still alive, but they can't believe it. With one attack, he defeated Goku. And Frieza says they could try to heal him, but he knows that Saiyans aren't that resilient. He asks who wants to be next. Maybe Vegeta, or maybe that Saiyan's son. He turns over to where Gohan is, and Gohan's not there. But what he does see is his own shadow, something shining above him. He turns around and sees Gohan midair, charging a massive Kamehameha. When did he get up there? And how did he charge an attack that big that quickly? The blast is launched at Frieza, and he tries to hold it back, but it actually is pushing him backwards. How is it this strong? And Gohan launches right through the beam, charging through it and beginning to pummel Frieza. And Vegeta just stands by in awe. How is that kid that powerful? Ten and Krillin sense it from nearby. It's that rage again. It's one of those rage boosts that Gohan's had before. And while Dende's healing Goku, he weakly chuckles. Maybe him getting attacked like this was actually a good thing. Maybe Gohan's got this. He continues mercilessly beating Frieza down, blinded by his rage. He summons all of his power, charging ki in his fist as he lands a critical blow on Frieza, hitting him right in the stomach and actually puncturing it through. But his power drops significantly after that, returning back to normal. Frieza's injured, but he can still fight. He could survive worse injuries than this. Although, this is a handicap. It's going to drop his power a bit. And it does leave a weak point too. How did this Saiyan cause that much damage to him? Much less a kid. He can't believe it. And he can't sense Gohan's power, but he could just tell. That fierce aura that was around him before, it's gone. He simmered down. It was just a fluke. That's what it was. That was the peak of his power. He'll return the favor, tenfold actually. He lifts an arm up, charging a blast in it. And right when he's about to fling his arm forward, Frieza is then kicked by someone from behind, rapidly launched into the ground below. And Gohan's glad to see a familiar face. It's Piccolo. He actually came here. He tells them sorry for the wait. It looks like he was sent to the wrong place. And they could tell Piccolo's far stronger than before. They don't know how, but there's no time to question it either. He says he'll explain later. Now is the time to fight. Dende finishes healing up Goku too. And he also sees a significant boost in strength as well, getting a massive leap in power from this near-death experience. He thanks Dende, who then senses Piccolo nearby. That energy, it feels like it's familiar somehow, even though he doesn't know this Namekian. Ten and Krillin don't know what's going on either, but they'll help join the fight. Everyone's reinvigorated. Piccolo, Goku, and Gohan stand together as Frieza launches back up at them. And Vegeta can sense how strong Goku's grown. He knows exactly how to defeat Frieza. He pulls the humans aside. He tells one of them to injure him critically. If he can get healed like Goku just did, he'll get a huge boost in power. That'll turn the tides. That'll tip the scales of the battle against Frieza. Krillin's actually a bit nervous to do this, but Ten gladly does it, not even hesitating. He tells Vegeta to drop his power as he holds a hand up, launching a blast right through his chest. After what he did to Chaozu and Yamcha, he doesn't care. Well, looks like Krillin didn't really have a say either way. Vegeta falls to the ground, and Dende actually heals him. Not as reluctant to because Vegeta didn't really get far in his slaughter. Actually, he didn't really get much done after all. Dende does know he's a bad guy, but he actually heals Vegeta relatively quickly. All the while, Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo are facing Frieza. They aim for that weak spot too, the spot where Gohan hit it. Sure, Frieza can survive it, but that doesn't mean he's not feeling pain from it. That doesn't mean his power isn't dropping from it either. It's still affecting him in the fight. And he tries to power up, but he's not given the chance to. He can't even go 100% because he needs an opening for that. But he fights back rigorously. These two Saiyans, that Namekian, they shouldn't be this hard to defeat. He knocks Piccolo and Goku to the ground, and he sets his sights on Gohan next, but notices something behind Gohan. Vegeta's on the ground with a small Namekian standing over him. He's glowing. He's being healed, it looks like. He just saw Vegeta get attacked by those humans. He didn't know why, but now he sees. That's how Goku came back. And they're healing Vegeta to exploit his Zenkais. He aims a finger at Dende, launching a beam, but Vegeta gets up at the last second, knocking it away. And with all his power, Frieza launches a blast in both directions, one at Gohan and one at Vegeta, knocking each of them down to the ground as well. Piccolo and Goku are lying there, and Frieza sees Goku as a big threat. He might actually be able to defeat him, especially if he gets healed again after this. He'll be sure to kill Goku this time, and not just that, he'll get rid of that healer. That way, he'll have a path to victory. And that kid, the one who injured him like this, he could watch the whole thing go down. Frieza will make him watch as his friends die, as Goku dies, and he'll be sure to save Gohan for last. Gohan gets up, but Frieza launches another powerful blast, sending him even further into the ground. He holds both his hands up. Two fingers in one hand are pointed towards Goku and Piccolo, and one is pointed at Dende. He says they'll play a game. Let's see which beam hits who first. But a power soars nearby. It's Vegeta, jumping back in. He attacks Frieza with a flurry of punches and kicks, quickly dashing around him and hitting him from each side. But him alone is not going to be enough. Although, it did help delay him launching an attack towards the others. With a single whip of his tail, Frieza lands a clean hit on Vegeta's face, then wrapping his tail around Vegeta's legs, holding him there midair. Vegeta's unconscious from that attack, and Frieza looks down at the ground, ready to finally finish everyone off, ready to finally be rid of them. But the ground's shaking nearby. That spot where Gohan was launched to the ground. It starts glowing. His aura flares up. Gohan feels immense anger inside of him, watching his friends be beaten like this. He's already lost some of them before, and now the stakes are even higher. They just brought Piccolo back, and he's about to die again. If he dies again too, they can't bring anyone back either. Ten and Krillin are in imminent danger, and then Dende. He's a kid, and Frieza's trying to kill him. They've already caused so much damage to Namek, so much damage to everyone around here. And probably the most important part to Gohan, seeing Goku getting hurt like that. He almost died once, and now it seems even worse. And Gohan's not going to stand by and let this happen. That anger boils up inside him, more so than it ever has before. And Frieza hears him shout Kamehameha, and Gohan starts propelling up towards Frieza at a rapid pace. Not only is he flying upwards, but he launches Kamehameha towards the ground, using it like a jet to propel him up. And quickly midair, he flips around, holding a fist out in front of him again. His aura grows larger and larger. Frieza holds his hand out, trying to block it. But a surge of power rushes through Gohan, and everyone on the ground watches in awe. Gohan flies right through Frieza, and the others can't really see from where they are, but as he exits the other side, Frieza's tail lets go of Vegeta. And for a moment, it almost looks like Gohan is golden. His aura, even his hair, they look like that. But it's for a brief second. He and Frieza then fall to the ground, with Gohan unconscious. And Frieza's in really rough shape. This might be something that he could even survive, but he's got a giant hole in him. He could barely move. Piccolo picks Goku up, and Vegeta descends down to the ground. Vegeta smiles looking down at the beaten Frieza, simply holding a hand out as the ground below him explodes, destroying what's left of Frieza. He was weak enough for him to do this. And even though Vegeta wasn't the sole reason to defeat him, he's glad he could land the final blow. But one thing he can't believe is that power he sent from Gohan briefly, and he asked if the others could see that. Well, yeah, they could sense it. Gohan's power increased dramatically at the last second. But didn't they see? He was glowing for some reason. Well, they didn't really notice, but they definitely sensed that surge in power. Goku caught Gohan when he fell down, laying him on the ground as Dende heals Gohan as well. And Goku asks him if he remembers any of that, and Gohan really doesn't. It looks like he doesn't really have as good a control of anger as he thought, but Goku said he did a great job. He summoned it in the time of need. And honestly, he really liked the way Gohan finished Frieza off. For some reason it seems a bit familiar, but he can't really put his finger on why. It gave Piccolo a big sense of deja vu as well. And while they're stunned for those reasons, Vegeta's stunned for a completely different reason. Why was Gohan so strong? Is that what he thought it was? No, it can't be. He can't actually be a Super Saiyan, right? That's not what that was. He's just a child. He's just a low-class warrior. There's no way. Especially because that would mean that he truly surpassed Vegeta. An elite Saiyan, surpassed by a low-class child, a half-breed. He can't make sense of it. Goku doesn't really know either, but he says he's proud of Gohan. Good job at defeating that guy. And Gohan's glad he could help, even though he doesn't really remember what happened at the end. The remaining few Namekians thank everyone, with Dende returning to them as well. Well, they thank the Namekians. Because of them, they were able to revive their friends. Unfortunately, by now, Guru's dead. But it's fine. They got to use the Dragon Balls at least, and they're gonna have a new Elder soon anyways. Things will be fine on Namek. The great thing is, they still have a planet. They just need to restore it and probably move it somewhere else too. But they'll make sure to make it work. Bulma was hiding nearby too and is terrified because everything was just shaking. She was actually pretty close to the battle and saw part of it. She can't believe they actually made it out of there alive. Everyone boards the ship back. And as for Vegeta, he has no clue what he's gonna do next. And Goku asks him if he wants to come back to Earth with them. Krillin and Ted can't believe what they're hearing. Wait, Vegeta? They're gonna bring him back? And Bulma says the same too. Yeah, he's got nowhere to go. And he did help them against Frieza after all, even if he isn't that nice of a guy. And Vegeta can't even believe what he's hearing. But reluctantly, he does go back with them because he really has nowhere else to go. And more importantly, with Gohan potentially being a Super Saiyan, he wants to learn more about that. Vegeta knows that deep down he could probably surpass them again. Kakarot and his son, they're just low-class warriors. Vegeta could use them for his own gain, because if one of them is a Super Saiyan, he can at least learn from that. And once he becomes a Super Saiyan, he'll be even more powerful than that. Way beyond that, actually. He's an elite warrior, and not a kid. He'll figure out how to do it himself. Back on Earth, the Dragon Balls are used and Krillin finds a way to phrase the wish perfectly. He says to revive all the good people killed by the actions of Frieza's men recently. And by phrasing it like this, it brings back the Namekians and Yamcha, because at the time he was killed, it was caused by action from people in Frieza's army. Even if it was the Cybermen that did it. They're surprised that the wish worked. And it's even better because not only does Yamcha come back, but everyone on Namek does too. Except the ones fused into Piccolo, obviously. And following these events, well, they need to keep Vegeta under watch. It shouldn't be too hard though, because everyone here is pretty powerful. And more importantly, Goku wants to train Gohan. He wants him to tap into that power again. Vegeta says he transformed or something, and they don't really know what happened with Gohan either, but if he could tap into that anger again and find a way to harness it even more, who knows how strong he could be. Their training commences immediately. Sometime after this arc too, King Cold does try to seek out what happened with Frieza, and by the time he gets to where Namek was, it's gone. They already got a new Elder and moved the planet quickly. And there's no Frieza there to tell him what happened. He doesn't know what happened with Frieza, and who was responsible for it. He'll find them eventually someday, but for now, he's just gonna have to try and look into it in whatever way possible. And this means he doesn't come to Earth. Earth stays in a relative time of peace for now. Although everyone's definitely going to still be training, especially Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. Vegeta's training more so on his own, trying to catch up to the other two, and Goku's Goku. And the whole point of the scenario is that Gohan's training like him, so of course he's going to be training more. And at some point, he actually is able to tap into something. He gets a brand new power, and Goku can't believe what he's seeing. Gohan's transformed, his hair changed color, his eyes changed color, and he's so much stronger than before. He barely is able to hold on to the transformation, but he doesn't go unconscious this time. He de-transforms and realizes what happened. Goku and Gohan are equally stunned. They need to find out how to access this power and see what's going on with it. And Goku's got a new goal too. He'll see if he can access it for himself as well. Vegeta eventually finds out about this too, having sensed it and interrogating Goku about it. He has no clue of what to think, or what to do next. And this is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more like this. It really helps with the channel and shows me that you want to see more. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.